Well, hello. We're going to talk about testing writing, and our team is conformed by Jorge Ibarra, me, Santiago Juarez, and Danitza Quiroga. Okay, so first we're going to see the table of contents. So the first thing we're going to see is a construct, and this is how is testing writing operationalized. The second thing we're going to see is measuring the written test. So how is testing writing measured? Okay, number three, we have how to assess it. We have the types of items, types of tasks, and answer key and rubric. Okay, so we go on the next slide. And what is a written exam? Okay, so everybody has had a written exam before. Before you entered the VA, you had a written exam for you to be assessed and also to be accepted on the VA. So we have here a definition that I'm going to read and I'm going to explain after. So the definition says, a test or a written examination is a technique to assess students' knowledge, skills, or abilities. So in written exam, what can we assess of knowledge? It maybe can be language, can be how they write a text, the coherence that a test may have, and different other areas. So continuing, it says tests are usually divided into several parts, each covering a different area of the field to be tested. So whenever we want to assess someone or check how many knowledge had uh, won or had acquired, we apply written exams to different areas. As I said before, you can do it from a language area or any other field. So continuing on the next slide, we have the construct. This is our first part of the presentation, and the construct is first when doing a written exam, we have to determine the objects of testing. We have to know what are we going to test and what do we need to assess. And continuing, we have preparing the test specifications. Okay, you have to have uh, very specific items in your test so you can assess correctly. And after that, we have preparing the test items. What are we going to, what are the activities we're going to put in our test so we can assess what we want to assess. After that, we have preparing the instructions for the test. So whenever we want a good test to be well assessed, we have to have clear instructions. So after that, we have preparing the scoring key. How are we going to measure the knowledge we want to know as teachers to for the students or the learners to acquire like a score? Okay, so for administration of the test, we have scoring the test and the item analysis. We have to analyze what we want to assess from the students. So we're going to continue on the next slide.
Okay, now the types of written exams, and here are some examples. Okay, some of the examples for the written exams are filling the missing vocabulary items in the sentences. For example, look at the pictures and write 4 sentences or rewrite the sentences using new words. A second example is filling the missing structural items in the sentences. For example, to rearrange the words, to make sentences, or read a letter and reply to it. And the third one can be finished text with the items in the list. And one of these examples can be write sentences using the information from a table chart, or you can write a paragraph or story using the information that is provided. So how can we measure written exams? Whatever it is invalid or unreliable methods of assessment can reduce the chances of reaching certain academic or curricular goals. For example, poorly written assessments can even be detrimental to the overall success of a program. So it is very important and essential that exam designers use every available resources at hand, specifically data analysis and psychometrics to ensure the validity of their assessment outcomes.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what makes a reliable assessment. For an exam, it is very important for the results to be trustable. So some of the patterns that we have in order for it to be reliable are, can you please change? Okay, we have test reset reliability that measures the reapplicability of the results. Then we have alternate form reliability that measures how test scores compare across two or more assessments, giving a short frame. And we have internal consistency reliability that measures how the actual component of an assessment works together to evaluate the understanding of a concept. Okay, also we have some other details, for example, establishing the test purpose, as Santiago was talking about it earlier, that is have an objective on mind. That way it's easier for you to see if you're going to focus on grammar, be trustable with just one topic. Then the perform of a job test analysis. This is an essential step in the exam creation because it's conducted to determine what job-related attributes an individual should possess before entering a profession or the exam in this situation. Then we have create the item pool. Once that is intended the focus of the exam as well as the specific knowledge and skills it should assess had been determined, it's time to start generating the exam, the items or questions that you would typically write on it. We have review the exam items that are, once the exam questions had been created, they have to be reviewed to see and ensure there are not design flaws or if they're functional for your test. And the last one that we have is conduct the item analysis. This is an essential stage of exam building, involves using the data and statistical methods such as psychometrics to check the validity of the assessment.